The ground trembled before anyone even saw him. Then he appeared, a giant of a man, towering, armored, unstoppable. Every step he took sent dust rising into the air. His voice thundered across the valley like a storm. "Send me someone to fight." But no one moved. Not the soldiers, not the warriors, not even the king. Fear had frozen an entire army. Day after day he came back, mocking, laughing, challenging. And day after day, silence answered him. Far from that battlefield, in quiet fields where sheep grazed under the sun, a boy lived a life no one paid attention to. No armor, no title, no crowd cheering his name, just a shepherd. He spent his days alone, watching over sheep, fighting off wild animals when danger came. No one saw those battles, no one applauded those victories, but they mattered. Because in those quiet, unseen moments, something was growing inside him. One day, everything changed. The boy was sent on a simple errand to deliver food to his brothers at the battlefield. Nothing special, nothing important, or so it seemed. When he arrived, he heard it, that voice, loud, arrogant, mocking, the giant. The boy watched as fear spread through the soldiers like fire. Strong men looked away, experienced warriors stayed silent, and something didn't sit right with him. How can this be happening, he thought. How can everyone just stand here and do nothing? While others saw an impossible enemy, he saw a challenge. He began to ask questions. Who is this man? Why is no one fighting him? People looked at him like he didn't understand. Maybe he didn't, or maybe they had forgotten something he hadn't. Word spread quickly. A boy thinks he can fight the giant. Soon he stood before the king. The king looked at him, small, young, inexperienced, and shook his head. "You're not ready," he said. "You're just a boy." But the boy didn't back down. "I've faced danger before," he said calmly. "When lions came, when bears attacked, I didn't run." His voice wasn't loud, it wasn't angry, just certain. The same God who helped me then will help me now. There was something different about him. Not strength, not size, belief. The king hesitated, then finally agreed. But he tried to prepare the boy the only way he knew how. Armor, helmet, sword. The boy put them on and could barely move. This wasn't him, so he took them off. No armor, no sword, just a sling and 5 smooth stones. And then he walked onto the battlefield, alone. The giant saw him and laughed. A deep, mocking laugh that echoed across the valley. "Am I a joke to you?" the giant roared. "You send a boy to fight me?" The soldiers watched, holding their breath. This was it. This was the moment everything would end. But the boy kept walking, step by step. No fear in his eyes, no hesitation. "You come to me with weapons," he said, his voice steady. "But I come with something greater." The giant charged forward. The ground shook. The air tightened. Everything moved at once. The boy reached into his pouch, pulled out a stone, placed it in his sling, and began to spin. Time slowed. The sound of the battlefield faded. All that remained was the moment. Then he released. The stone flew through the air with deadly precision, and in an instant it struck. Silence. The giant froze. His expression changed from anger to shock. Then slowly, heavily, he fell. The ground shook as he hit it. Dust rose into the air, and for a moment, no one moved, no one spoke. Then it hit them. The giant was down. The impossible had just happened. A boy no one believed in had done what an entire army could not, and suddenly fear disappeared, courage spread, everything changed. Because the battle was never about size, it was never about strength, it was about something deeper. Sometimes the reason you feel too small is because the challenge in front of you is too big for fear to handle. And maybe that giant in your life, that problem, that doubt, that voice telling you you can't, looks unbeatable. But so did this one. All it takes is one moment of courage, one step forward, one decision to believe when no one else does. Because being small has never stopped anyone from winning, and it never will.
Sage Vera.